Have you ever wondered what your dog actually does after you fall asleep? Not the obvious things. Not just moving around or changing spots. But the quiet, strange behaviors that happen when the house is completely still and you're no longer watching. Because something subtle begins to change in your dog the moment you close your eyes. Most owners assume their dog simply sleeps through the night. Maybe they imagine them curled up peacefully, dreaming, waiting for morning. But the reality is far more emotional, and honestly, a little surprising. Your dog doesn't just switch off when you do. In fact, for many dogs, the night is when their awareness becomes even sharper. When everything goes quiet, when the outside world fades, your dog becomes more alert to the one thing that matters most: you. There are moments during the night when your dog wakes up, not fully, not dramatically, but just enough to check something. They might lift their head slightly, ears adjusting to the silence, eyes scanning the room in the soft darkness. And more often than you realize, they look at you. Not because they're confused. Not because they're restless. But because they're checking. Dogs are deeply instinctual creatures, and even in the comfort of your home, part of their mind remains gently awake, monitoring their environment. But here's the part most people don't understand. You are their environment. Your breathing, your movements, even the subtle rhythm of your sleep, these things become signals your dog learns over time. So during the night, when your breathing changes or you shift in bed, your dog notices. And sometimes they respond in ways that seem almost invisible. They adjust their position slightly closer to you. They turn their body so they're facing you. They rest in a way that allows them to hear you more clearly. It's not random. It's awareness mixed with attachment. And then there are the deeper moments, the ones most people never witness. At some point in the night, your dog may quietly get up. No sound. No urgency. Just a soft movement across the room. They might walk a few steps, pause, and simply stand there. Watching. Listening. Not in fear, but in quiet vigilance. Dogs carry an ancient instinct to protect and stay aware during vulnerable times. And when you're asleep, completely unaware of your surroundings, your dog unconsciously takes on a different role. They become a silent guardian. But here's where it becomes emotional. Because this behavior isn't just instinct anymore, it's personal. Your dog isn't guarding a territory. They're guarding you. That's why some dogs will choose to sleep facing the door, or position themselves between you and the rest of the room. Even if there's no real threat, their mind is wired to stay prepared. And while you're dreaming, completely disconnected from the world, your dog is still connected to you. There's also something else that happens during the night that most people misunderstand. Sometimes your dog will wake up and just stare at you. No movement. No sound. Just a quiet gaze in the darkness. If you saw it, it might feel strange. Almost eerie. But the meaning behind it is actually incredibly simple. They're checking if you're still there. Not because they think you've disappeared, but because your presence is their anchor. In the stillness of the night, when everything feels uncertain, that visual confirmation, seeing you, hearing you, sensing you, brings them comfort. It reassures them that their world is still stable. And sometimes, after that quiet check, they relax again. They sigh softly. They curl back into their spot. They go back to sleep. Like nothing ever happened. But something did happen. A silent cycle of awareness, connection, and reassurance, repeated throughout the night without you ever knowing. There are also nights when your dog senses something different about you. Maybe your breathing is heavier. Maybe you're restless. Maybe you're dreaming more intensely. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to these changes, even when they're small. So your dog might respond by staying closer, or waking more frequently, or watching you a little longer than usual. Not out of confusion, but out of concern. And this is where their emotional intelligence becomes impossible to ignore. Because your dog doesn't need to fully understand what you're feeling to care about it. They just feel the shift, and they stay near. Some dogs will even move closer during the night without you realizing it. You might fall asleep with space between you, and wake up to find them right beside you. That's not coincidence. That's a quiet decision they made while you were asleep. A decision to be closer. To feel safer. To keep you safe. Or simply, to stay connected. And maybe the most beautiful part of all of this is how invisible it is. Your dog doesn't need recognition for it. They don't expect praise. They don't wake you up to show you what they've been doing. They just do it. Night after night. In silence. Because in their world, love isn't something you announce. It's something you stay for. So the next time you wake up in the morning and see your dog peacefully lying there, as if they've been asleep the whole time, just remember. There's a good chance they were awake at some point during the night. Quietly watching over you. Checking on you. Making sure you were still there. And choosing, again and again, to stay close. Not because they had to, but because to them, you are home.